Friends, gather round because tonight we're diving headfirst into the thrilling world of international trade disputes. Don't worry, I promise it'll be more exciting than trying to assemble IKEA furniture while blindfolded. The United States and China, those economic behemoths, are locked in a trade war for the ages. It's like watching a heavyweight boxing match, except instead of punches, they're throwing tariffs at each other. And just like a real boxing match, the spectators are feeling the pain too. This latest round kicked off with the United States slapping a 10% tariff on a whole bunch of Chinese imports. You know, just your everyday essentials like smartphones, laptops, and those tiny plastic toys you win at carnivals and then immediately regret. The United States claims these tariffs are necessary to protect American jobs and intellectual property. China, however, sees things a tad differently. China, never one to back down from a fight, retaliated with tariffs of its own. This wasn't some passive-aggressive, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed kind of response. No, China went straight for the economic jugular, targeting key United States exports like energy, industrial equipment, and automobiles. Think of it as a carefully calculated game of economic whack-a-mole. Except the moles are American businesses, and the whacking hurts a lot more than you'd think. So, what exactly did China target? Well, for starters, they slapped a 15% tariff on coal and liquefied natural gas and a 10% tariff on crude oil. That's right, folks, they're coming for our fossil fuels. But wait, there's more. China also imposed a 10% tariff on agricultural machinery and large engine vehicles. So, if you're a farmer driving a John Deere tractor or a trucker hauling goods in a Peterbilt, you might want to brace yourselves for some financial turbulence. Now, you might be thinking, John, this all seems a bit extreme. Surely there's more to China's actions than just wanting to pick a fight. And you know what? You're right. China has its reasons, and they're not as crazy as you might think. From China's perspective, these tariffs aren't just about trade, they're about national security and technological sovereignty. See, China has big plans to become a global leader in cutting-edge industries like artificial intelligence, robotics, and renewable energy. They see the United States' dominance in these sectors as a threat, and they're not afraid to use every tool at their disposal to level the playing field. Furthermore, China believes the United States is actively trying to stifle its economic growth and maintain its global hegemony. They see these tariffs as a form of economic coercion, and they're determined to fight back with everything they've got. American energy under pressure. So, how are these tariffs actually impacting the U.S.? Well, let's start with the energy sector, shall we? Remember those tariffs on LNG and crude oil? Yeah, those are a big deal. China is the world's largest energy consumer, and those tariffs make it more expensive for them to buy American energy. This means U.S. energy companies are losing market share to competitors in Russia, Qatar, and Australia. It's like trying to sell hot dogs outside a stadium after the game has already ended. Sure, you might still make a few bucks, but you're missing out on the main event. And it's not just about lost sales. These tariffs are also creating uncertainty in the U.S. energy market, making it harder for companies to plan for the future. It's like trying to build a house on a foundation of jelly. You might get started, but it's not going to end well. U.S. manufacturing and tech in the crosshairs. But wait, there's more. The impact of these tariffs is far-reaching and multifaceted. These tariffs aren't just hurting the U.S. energy sector, they're also taking a significant toll on American manufacturers and technology firms, affecting their operations and profitability. Remember those tariffs on industrial equipment and automobiles? They are creating a ripple effect across various industries. Yeah, those are hitting American companies like John Deere, Caterpillar, Ford, and General Motors right where it hurts, their bottom line. These companies are facing increased costs and reduced competitiveness. These tariffs make American products more expensive in the Chinese market, which means they're losing sales to competitors in Japan, South Korea, and Europe. This loss of market share is a significant blow to their global presence. It's like trying to sell a flip phone in a world obsessed with the latest iPhone. You're fighting a losing battle. The competitive landscape is unforgiving. And let's not forget about the technology sector. The stakes are incredibly high here. China's tariffs on semiconductors, those tiny chips that power everything from smartphones to fighter jets, are a major concern for Silicon Valley giants like Intel and Qualcomm. These companies are at the forefront of innovation. These tariffs are driving up costs for American tech companies, making it harder for them to compete in the global marketplace. The financial strain is palpable. It's like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of rocks. You might finish the race, but it's going to be a lot harder than it needs to be. The challenges are immense, and the stakes are high. China's web of countermeasures. But wait, there's even more! China's strategies go far beyond just tariffs and trade wars. As if tariffs weren't enough, China has a whole arsenal of other economic weapons at its disposal. These tools are designed to exert pressure and gain leverage in the global market. Take, for instance, export restrictions. These can be implemented swiftly and can have immediate impacts on global industries. China is a major supplier of rare earth elements, those exotic-sounding minerals that are essential for manufacturing everything from smartphones to wind turbines. Without these, many modern technologies would come to a standstill. In recent years, China has restricted exports of these minerals, sending shockwaves through global supply chains. This has forced companies worldwide to scramble for alternatives. It's like suddenly realizing that the key ingredient in your favorite recipe is only available in a remote village in the Himalayas. You're going to have to get creative. The scarcity can lead to innovation, but also to significant delays and increased costs. And then there are the regulatory hurdles. These can be just as effective as tariffs in stifling foreign competition. China has a long history of using regulations to give domestic companies an advantage over foreign competitors. This can include everything from environmental standards to labor laws. They've been known to delay product approvals, conduct surprise factory inspections, and impose onerous licensing requirements. These tactics can slow down or even halt foreign business operations. It's like trying to navigate a bureaucratic maze designed by Kafka. You might eventually find your way out, but it's going to be a long and frustrating journey. The complexity and unpredictability can be overwhelming for foreign businesses. Global fallout and uncertain futures. So, what does all this mean for the global economy? The implications are vast and complex, affecting every corner of the world. Well, in a word, uncertainty. This uncertainty is causing businesses to hesitate, investments to stall, and markets to fluctuate wildly. The US-China trade war is creating a ripple effect across the world, disrupting supply chains, fueling inflation, and undermining business confidence. Companies are struggling to adapt to the new normal, and consumers are feeling the pinch. It's like a game of economic Jenga, where each block removed brings the whole tower closer to collapse. Every decision made has far-reaching consequences. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has warned that the trade war could shave off 0.8% of global GDP by 2025. This is a significant blow to global growth prospects. That's a lot of money, folks. We're talking about billions, if not trillions of dollars in lost economic activity. The longer this trade war drags on, the more damage it will inflict on the global economy. Industries are being hit hard, from manufacturing to technology, and the effects are being felt by everyday people. It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck. You know it's going to be bad, but you can't look away. So, what's the solution? How do we navigate through this economic turmoil? Well, that's the trillion-dollar question. Economists and policymakers are scrambling for answers, but there are no easy solutions. Both sides have dug in their heels and neither seems willing to back down. The political standoff is as much about pride as it is about policy. It's like watching two toddlers fight over a toy. No one's going to come out of this looking good. The longer the fight continues, the more everyone loses. The only hope is that cooler heads will prevail and the two sides can find a way to negotiate a truce. Diplomacy and compromise are the keys to resolving this conflict. Until then, we're all stuck on this wild ride called the US-China trade war. The ups and downs are unpredictable and often unsettling. Buckle up, folks, it's going to be a bumpy one. Stay informed, stay prepared, and hope for the best.